So, forsythia always were the timing of when they bloom. You put down your crabgrass control, and it's a pre-emergent for most of them. And that if they're done blooming where you are, where they're finishing up here in southern New Jersey, Philadelphia area, that you may think that it's too late to put down a crabgrass control. It isn't, as long as you use the correct one. There are different active ingredients in the crabgrass control, and you should try to, it's a little nerdy to get to know what the active ingredient is, but this is one case where if it has something called dimension in it, like, for instance, the Jonathan Green, this is a mouthful, Jonathan Green's Crabgrass Preventer Plus Green Up Lawn Fertilizer, it has that dimension in it, and dimension is a preventer, but it also will work on crabgrass that has germinated up to its three-leaf stage. Three-leaf stage, what does that mean? Well, it means that it's a post-emergent for some of those crabgrass seeds that have germinated and you haven't put down that crabgrass yet. Now, three-leaf. Crabgrass, when it's fully grown, has 7 leaves. Okay? So as long as you get it down now, you're going to be able to prevent and kill some of that crabgrass that's already sprouted. Remember, it has to say that it has dimension in it. Now, Scott's, as far as I know, still is using pendimethalin. It is strictly a preventer. It doesn't have any residual post-emergent kill in it. Jonathan Green is the one that you should look for. Great fertilizer, great company, family-owned, headquartered in New Jersey. Woo! And that it has that post-emergent that you're looking for. Now, you got to remember, don't put crabgrass control down once. And the reason I say that is because there's crabgrass that is deep in the soil, and the seeds are deep in the soil. And what will happen is that you'll prevent them for about six weeks or so. But then the ones that are deep in the soil will start to germinate. And when they germinate, it's going to be late May. It could be even up into June that all of a sudden you say your crabgrass control didn't work. And that's one thing about it. You should never see your crabgrass control work because it should prevent crabgrass from ever coming up. But we have found that a double application, not at the same time, but once in the early spring, like right about now or any time, again, when the forsythias are blooming, then you do it again about 6 weeks later, then that will give it that control that you need. So you've got 12 weeks coverage, anywhere from 12 weeks to 2 months coverage 12 weeks. Let's see. So 12 weeks, yes. So almost, again, it will extend into July as long as you're putting it down in May or in June. And that will clean up your lawn with crabgrass, because the way that crabgrass grows is it comes up and it germinates right about now, and then it takes over your lawn, and then it dies. It doesn't come back as the same plant. It dies, and it dies after it drops its seed. So, and we've talked on this show, and those of you who are regular listeners know that everything gets pollinated, and it has a fruit, a seed, a nut, and that where it's the same with crabgrass. Now, it dies, but that seed that it dropped, guess what? It's grandkids. It's probably generations old, and it just keeps repeating that process. Now, if you eliminate the crabgrass from germinating, you can eliminate it for good. So you've got to make sure that you're putting the first application down sometime in late March to the second week in April. It's kind of pushing it. But then put it again about a month to 6 weeks later, so you prevent all the crabgrass from coming up. So don't cheapen out and think that it's once, because it's a battle. Trying to control it after it's sprouted is very hard. And it can even, if you do it wrong, you can even kill your good grass that you want. So make sure that you do a double application. And remember, a pre-emergent is an herbicide that you put down, and it prevents the seed from coming up through the soil. It kills it before it ever gets a chance to establish. A post-emergent, for things like dandelions, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, that's a post-emergent after they're growing. So when they're actively growing, you use it. That's why it's so important to stop it before it gets a foothold, because it is harder to kill once it's up and growing compared to when you prevent it. So keep that in mind. So just because the forsythia are going out of bloom, it's not too late, but you've got to use a specific kind, and that has the active ingredient that is called dimension, and that will help you out, and it'll control anything. So if you are a little late, because it's been cold, but the soil temperatures may have been warm enough to germinate that crabgrass. So get out there, get it done Saturday, and that you'll have good success, but you got to make sure you get enough so that you can do it in about a month.